everyone, and welcome back to Amity Bloom. My name is Nazi. Definitely before you watch this video, check out part 1, which I will link below, where I show the other journals that I have created, as well as give a little bit of insight as to the special meaning behind all of these journals. So this one is showcasing the personal and the pocket size, the little guys of the collection. As you can see, the style is Bohemian. All of them, just like the standard size ones, are all collaged with different types of Middle Eastern fabrics and trims and lace. All of them also have charms that dangle made out of precious stones. So let's start with the personal size, and then we will make our way up to the pocket. Right, so let's start with this one. This one, really funny story to it. As you can see, I've decorated with different types of trim. And then this beautiful green fabric, golden green fabric that shines depending on where it hits the light. Beautiful black and brown fabric covering all of it. And then here is some trim out of an Indian shirt. And I was going to stitch all of it together, but my needle actually broke and caught on to one of these little beads. It broke in half and part of the needle hit my eyebrow. So I was this close to losing my sight in my left eye, so all thanks to this little journal. So that's a funny story behind this journal, and because of that, I did not want to risk in going into this dangerous territory of sequins and beads, so I just left it open, and luckily it serves as a tuck spot, so you can put whatever you'd like tucked in there. Here's the bead made with a Murano crystal and some other beads that I put together. Opening it up, tag in the front pocket. Here is a little lace pocket with some ticket and sample of that golden yarn and a button that I talked in part 1. Little ruffle. Another one of those antique note-taking papers that I've included in here. More of that lace inspired by the rebookery. One of my fabric tip outs. I've just stitched some lace and some sequins and a floral fabric onto there. Another textile collage with some Indian lace and adding the piece of thread down in this middle, trying to imitate, like I've said, this design on my pillow. And if you're wondering why am I holding this pillow, definitely check out part 1. I explain all of that in that video. Here is just some fabric that I've stitched onto the side, and then I've made a textile tag that has 3 different tuck spots in there. Some more fabric bookmarks. This beautiful lace was actually gifted to me by the sweet Labyrinth Rock gal. Hello, Hallie. I am obsessed with the lace. I think I have enough lace to last me a lifetime, but this one in particular, I am hoarding it and treasuring it. Absolutely beautiful. So thank you, Hallie. Here is a tip-in, but using lace as well. So you don't just have to use fabric in your tip-ins, you can use lace as well. You can just tip that in. And in here, this was completely inspired by Jabid. The journal that she gifted me, she included flip out and then a pocket on the bottom. And then I just went ahead and created a tuck spot in the back as well. So that was really fun to add. And then here in the last pocket, I've just stitched the pocket together. Here I forgot to add a little garment pin, but I will. And I'll include a little vintage key in there. And in the pocket is some blank music paper. So it's basically music paper that has not been printed on, which I thought would be perfect journaling. Perfect for journaling. And then in here is a pocket where I included an image of a wonderful Bohemian lady next to the ocean. And as I've been doing with the other journals that I've created, adding little samples of her clothing that, you know, would be found back in the day. So I just stitched together the scraps of fabric that I had, added a little button, left the tails, and have paper clip that onto there. So you can leave it on there, or you can glue it to the page, you can stitch it to the page, and you could do whatever you'd like. And so that is this journal right here. The next one, this is the next one in the personal size. This one is probably one of my favorites, simply because of the beading, and also this little piece of fabric that you see here that has this really thick textile and then some beads actually came from my sacred pillow. Yes, I sacrificed a little piece of my pillow since it's basically falling apart, but I wanted to sacrifice a little piece of it since I thought it would be perfect on this journal. So that's the only thing I will ever sacrifice from my beautiful pillow. But as you can see, this gorgeous fabric that covers all of it, it kind of looks Mayan. It reminds me of my ancestors, like of the Mayan and Aztec culture. I've stitched some golden thread onto it, stitched the little piece of my pillow, and I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it's beaded. I did not do that myself. This was the fabric that I got from the seller. I think this one is from Nepal, I'm not sure. But it's already hand beaded on there, which is really, really special. And then here's the charm that I created for it. It kind of has Christmas colors. It's a Bohemian Christmas going on in here. Opening it up, tag in the front pocket, one of Nick the Booksmith's tracing paper pockets with the vintage receipt, and then a tea bag ruffle on the bottom. A little ruffle, a little piece of that sari silk shirt with a flower embroidered on there, some vintage music paper with lace stapled up at the top. And then here on this page, I've included an image of the Bohemian lady that this journal belongs to. She just looks so happy looking down at her flowers. And then I've also attached a little sample of the clothing that she would be wearing, making it look really rustic, letting the yarns just dangle at the sides. Here's a beautiful cluster of lace sari silk trims and a shirt. And then here in the back, I've just paper clipped onto here a file folder that I distressed and added this quote that says, "Happiness is like a butterfly, which when pursued is always beyond our grasp, but which, if you will sit down quietly, may light upon you." Completely true, and a beautiful quote by Nathaniel Hawthorne. And then opening it up is a pocket in the middle with some lace decorated on the bottom, and then I've created this I've created this rustic textile tag where I've included bits of ripped paper, glued it together, stitched it, and some script up at the top, and then you can journal on the back. So very rustic, but I really am loving this style so much. I can't get enough of it right now. And then on the back, it's a fabric tip-in made out of this translucent, it's kind of translucent. If you put it on the paper, it's really strong. But then in person, when you lift it up, you can barely see the design. So it's absolutely beautiful. This came from a shirt from India that I took apart, and I added the tip-in into the journal. And so that is this one. Let me go ahead and paper clip it back together. So here is this one. That was the last of the personal size. Moving on to the cutest size of all, the pocket size. These journals are probably one of my most favorite to create just because everything is included in them just in miniature form. So let's start out with this one. This one, the fabric cover is a lot of greens, golds, browns, And then on the cover, I just collaged little elements all together with some of that beautiful lace that was gifted to me by Hallie. Added some sequins. And then here is the charm that I created for it. Open it up. Here I've just included the same antique notes from that composition set, and I've just cut them in half and included them in miniature size in here with some ruffle. Here is a fabric flip out so that you have space for journaling on the bottom. And then here I created a small little envelope that I tea stained, stamped, stitched, included a little tag in here, and then on the back, just with my fairy journals that I put fabric on the back of the envelopes, that's what I did in here as well. So you get 2 tuck spots in one. A little collage up at the top. Here is another image of a Bohemian lady with a sample of her clothing, stitched and attached with a paper clip. Here in this pocket is a little miniature version of those vintage typewriter pre-writing papers that I talked about in part 1, with a little ruffle at the bottom. Vintage book pages, and then here this is just a paper flip out, and then I have stitched on some lace as a pocket, and in here have included a card that is just stitched and collaged very rustically. This guy, I think, is the epitome of a mustache. I don't know if you can see it in camera, but he has a perfect French mustache. And then here in the back page, some sari silk trim, and then this beautiful Indian sequin trim that I've attached and then just stitched random strings all throughout. And so there is this little guy. And then last but not least in the entire collection is this one. This one has some beautiful fabric covering the front and the back of this floral. This reminds me, if you guys have seen the movie Avatar, you know, at night when they're walking through the forest, and at nighttime all of the flowers are just blooming and a lot of light is being produced from them. That's kind of what this reminds me of. And then on the cover, I've just done this random little assortment of different trims and lace and sequins. Probably there's like 10 different types of fabric and lace here. And then here is the charm for this one. This one came from a set of vintage earrings with the precious stone in the middle. Absolutely beautiful. And then just for fun, I just want to see how it looks like in the notebook. Oh, it looks so beautiful. Let's see if we can put both of them in here. Yes, we can! Wow! See, this is a Buteo Bunker Traveler's Notebook, so it has like 4 elastics, so there's more than enough room. Look at how beautiful the journals look in here. Wow, this is gorgeous. I think I might make myself a Bohemian journal just so that my notebook could be this chunky all the time. And then you can see the little charms dangling from the side. So definitely, if you're going to make yourself for your personal journal, like a junk journal style, include fabric, include lace, include different textiles, because not only does it add more character to the notebook, but it makes it look absolutely beautiful in your traveler's notebook. All right, so let's open it up. Here is a fabric pocket with some trim and a textile tag that I've stitched together, and then on the back you have some journaling space. And then here is a tri-fold fold out that is also a pocket. I actually saw in one of TiffyButter's videos. Hi Tiffy! She also creates traveler's notebook junk journals that are so cute and so vintage. Definitely go and check her out. This idea was inspired by her. So you have a little tuck spot in the back and then your tri-fold that you can journal in there. Some more trim sewn onto the side. Here in this pocket, another one of those vintage note sets. And then at the bottom, just some cheesecloth, some Indian trim, and different types of string just sewn together. A tracing paper pocket with a tea bag ruffle, and then some vintage tickets and tags. A ruffle. And then here in the last pocket, we have a little ruffle of some sari silk trims and some Indian fabric. And then in here is another one of my textile cards. It has a poem of a cloud, some buttons, just things sewn all together. And this also is a little pocket. So you can journal on the back, you have a little decoration on the front, and it's also a pocket. And that goes in there. And that is the whole journal. So that is it. I hope that you guys loved this little set of journals. It was, like I said, so much fun to create. I hope this has inspired you in some way to, you know, go out of your comfort zone and try out these beautiful Middle Eastern fabrics. I used to be scared of working with darker fabric until you see these fabrics in person. They just bloom inspiration. So yes, so I hope that you guys enjoyed. Definitely check out part 1, and like I said, go ahead and support all of the wonderful ladies that I mentioned below. And as always, I wish you all a wonderful day filled with peace and love. Bye-bye. Ooh, it is absolutely beautiful. The sky is a crystal blue. This is the view from my window while I'm recording. Oh, let's just ignore the tripod there. This is the beautiful view from my window while I'm making the videos. Just wanted to show you all. I hope that wherever you guys are, you know, springtime is coming and blooming. Anyway, bye-bye. Oh, there's a bird. Oh, you didn't see it on camera.